welcome back to another video. Today's video is 10 ways to improve a bad fibromyalgia flare day. So this is one of those days when you are not feeling good, you're really tired, or you're in a lot of pain, or just, you're in a flare. Our mental health is really entwined with our physical health, and obviously if you're having a bad mental health day, you will probably be in pain or really tired. So they're normally interconnected. The idea of this list is that you feel better psychologically, and that will also help you feel better physically. So obviously I have my list here with me to, not forget anything. The first thing that is on this list is tell someone. Talk to somebody that you trust, a sibling or your parents or your partner or a friend, somebody who you trust and who maybe even might help you out that day if they can. If not, maybe they can make you feel a little bit better, or just having someone that knows that you're having a rough day so they can check in on you and they can help you in other ways, even if it's not, physically being there to help you. But this can be really important because sometimes when we're not feeling great, we sort of shut down and we close off from the world, and that makes us feel worse. The second thing that I put on the list is ask yourself if there's a reason why you're feeling this way, either psychologically or physically. Ask yourself and try to figure out if there is a reason for this flare or for a day that you're just not feeling great. And if there is, think about how you could have made it less harsh on your body, or try to think critically, how could you have avoided it? Could you have avoided it at all? Because maybe you couldn't. If there is no way to avoid it, and if there's nothing you could have done, that's okay. Or if there's no reason for the flare, which it happens, mostly there's a reason for it, but not always. And if there isn't one, then that's fine. That's whatever, don't worry about it. And if there is a reason for it, and even if you could have avoided it, don't beat yourself up about it. Just register it, acknowledge it, and then just think, okay, next time that I'm in this situation, I'll try and apply the knowledge that I now have. But I'm not gonna beat myself up about it, because if this hadn't happened, I wouldn't have realized that it wasn't a good idea to do this. So I'm just gonna take it as a learned lesson and move on. Number 3 is avoid making big decisions on that day or in that week. Of course, if you're having a really long flare, then it's obviously different. But if you're just not feeling good today, if this is the first day you're not feeling very well, or like feeling worse than usual, just make a point to not make big decisions today. So if you have something coming up in the next weeks or in that month, wait it out. See if you feel better tomorrow, because a lot of times, for me at least, I have like a bad day or two where I'm really tired because I've been really pushing myself, and I don't need to cancel everything that I'm doing next month. I just need to rest and give my body time to catch up with me. Sometimes it's not going to be a long flare, and you sort of making big decisions today when you're not feeling well, your decisions will reflect that, and it's just a bad idea. And by having this decision to not make decisions, you are also taking the pressure off of yourself, because you know that everything that happens today is having no impact on your life in your upcoming events or your life coming up. So you're fine. The fourth thing is set really low expectations for the day, and don't put any pressure on yourself. And this is what I would do, is I have a to-do list, like a physical list with little squares to tick off. The only things on this list will be things that are me taking care of myself, and things that I want to do today to make me feel better, and things that are, self-care. But write down everything, like brushing my teeth, getting out of bed, making breakfast, eating breakfast, drinking water, things like that. Also, it's really important, and I know this isn't always possible. Obviously, sometimes you may have other things that you have to put on the list that you have to do that day. If you have anything that you do need to do, that it's imperative that you do it on that day, I would say make sure it's the first thing you do, so it's out of the way, and then you can have the rest of the day for yourself. And it puts you into that rhythm of I still got stuff done even though I don't feel very good. But if these stressful things can wait until tomorrow or the next day, leave them, because today it's really important that you have nothing to stress you, nothing to pressure you, and things that don't inflict pain. The only things on your list should be things that will make you feel better and things that will taking care of yourself is your priority today. I don't know if that made any sense. I feel like I rambled on for that a lot. Number 5 is spend a few minutes making your environment more clean and tidy and decluttered. If you can't physically do this today, if you just really can't move or you're just that bad, ask somebody to help you. But this is really important because, or for me it is at least. What I mean by your environment is, for example, if I'm going to be spending my day in the sofa mainly, I make sure that I have, my walking stick if I need it. I have a tray with water and food and, a few things that I might need, like my medication, things like that. A book or the remote for the TV and the remote for the air conditioning and the remote for this and that. I have everything really close to me, but in a really tidy and uncluttered way. But if you're in bed, for example, you can also just clean your bedside table and declutter that, make sure that you have space to put down a cup of tea or to have put down a meal or whatever. Make sure that everything is within reach of you that you might need for the day. And just take a few minutes to just prepare that space, which might take a bit of your energy, but it will save you energy later. And if everything that you might need is close to you, like food and water, which are really important, and if all of these things are close to you, then you won't have to get up and go and drink water every time that you're thirsty, and that makes it easier for you to stay hydrated without taking up all of your energy, if that makes any sense. Yeah, so this is just a way for you to make sure that you are set for the day. If you can't move anymore, you don't need to, Number 6 is take care of yourself, so self-care. By this I mean if you're feeling up to it and if you can manage it, take a shower really quick, or just sometimes if I can't stand in the shower but I really want to clean my body, I just sit in the tub and wash myself that way. If that helps, there's a tip for you. But if you can't do that, just wash your hands and your face and maybe brush your teeth, brush your hair, change out of the clothes you slept in and into fresh. Even if you're wearing pajamas again, but just put on fresh pajamas, put on something that is clean and that still even smells like laundry detergent or fabric softener. And that will make you feel better, make you feel like you're cleaner and you are taking care of yourself. If you really can't do a lot of these things, then maybe put on hand lotion or body lotion. Have a hot drink, have some tea or coffee if you like it and if it's not bad for you, or have some hot chocolate if you can as well. Treat yourself to something that you really like and that you don't often do. But make sure that these are things that are in agreement with your diet restriction, things like that. Even if it's teeny tiny, it doesn't have to be moving furniture around or anything. Just look after yourself and take those little steps of personal hygiene and just self-care that will make you feel better and that will make you feel more productive and will definitely benefit you. Okay, number 7 is honestly the whole my favorite one, the one that I do the most, and this I basically live by, and it is, think of that day, of a flare day or a day you're not feeling good, as an opportunity to catch up on things you've been meaning to do but haven't got around to. And by this I don't mean cleaning out the air conditioning filters, none of that, nothing physical. When I say this is what I live by, and a lot of people ask me how I don't, how I stay strong and how even on bad days I'm always cheerful and happy and I'm always thinking of the positive, and this is it. You have to find the positive in everything because otherwise you're gonna be miserable. So what I do is I think of that day as an opportunity to catch up on things that I've been meaning to do that are, on the computer normally and that I haven't done. So I will give you examples so you understand what I mean. Catching up on YouTube videos that you've, been piling up and you haven't had time to watch. Catching up on a series that you've been not having time to watch the episodes of. Or watching a show on Netflix that you've been meaning to but you still haven't found the time. Reading a book that, a lot of people say they don't have time to read. So on days when you're not feeling good and that you are not going to be doing anything else anyway, read a book, read a magazine, maybe do some research on a topic you've been meaning to research but you still haven't. Or browse online for that thing that you've been meaning to buy but you just haven't got around to it. Or to find a community online that will help you feel better as well. There's tons of communities online on every single platform for our condition and for other different ones and for like everything that you can imagine. Take this time that you're not feeling good to find a community that you relate to, because there's obviously lots of communities and some might not be to your taste. Use this time to do that. Number 8 is move. Okay. And I know that a lot of times when you're in a flare you can't, but you need to move. Even if it's just a little bit, you have to try and move your body and continuously go from one position to the other, because being in the same position for too long will make you feel a lot worse and it will cause you pain in those areas. Try to walk a little bit around the house, or even if it's like super slow, it doesn't have to be fast. If you can, go downstairs, go outside and walk around the square or walk around the block or whatever and come back home. Just take in some fresh air. And if you can't go outside, go and sit by an open window, take in some fresh air. And if you can't do that, then just have the windows open in the house for a little while. Maybe somebody else can do that for you, like open the windows. And this will just like let new air flow through the house, and that will just feel like you have cleaner air. And I know that sounds really stupid, but it really, really helps. I know that if you're like in bed or if you're like really, really poorly, then you might have a hard time moving or walking. But something that me and my boyfriend found was that when I was in really, 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 really bad days, what happened was like sometimes I would just be in bed for like 2 or 3 days in a row. And sometimes if he was home or at night when he got home, he would just like manipulate my muscles, like my limbs. So he would just like grab my leg and like bend it back and forward really gently for a few times, and that helps your muscles move and your joints move, but you're not actually doing anything because the other person is like actually the one picking up your limbs and like doing all of the hard work. So we found that helped me. So that may be another suggestion. If you can't move and if you can't do anything because everything hurts, let somebody else move your body for you, gently, very gently, and not pushing any limits, and you may be worth a try. It helped me a lot. Number 9 is taking a note of the things that helped you. And I mean like physically writing a list of, or like on your phone or on your computer or whatever. Write a list of the things that you tried that helped you, and maybe the things that you tried that didn't help you or that you didn't really feel like they helped you, but mostly the things that you enjoyed trying and that made you feel better. And keep that list, and then every time you have a bad flare day and if you try something new, write down, add to that list more things that helped you and that made you feel good. And then basically you have your own list of things that you have tried and that have worked for you to fall back on when you're having a bad day, and you can just go back to that list and try them out again, and you already have like a sure, foolproof way of making yourself feel better. Okay, so number 10 is eating well and drinking lots of water. And I know that I mentioned this in my every video that I have tips for anything. I mention eating healthy and drinking a lot of water because it is important for everything. I'm not saying it will solve everything. I'm just saying it might help. If you're in a flare normally, your body is fighting really hard to feel better and to heal from whatever happened that made it feel like that. And it will need a lot of energy, and you need to supply your body with the right kind of fuel and with enough water for everything to be working well. Water is absolutely crucial for the functioning of our bodies, as well as, the right foods. You're basically giving your body the right tools to help it heal faster. So with rest and eating the right things and drinking enough water, you're actually you are helping your body get better sooner. A lot of these help me, and sometimes they help more than others, but it doesn't mean just because today you tried one and it didn't help, it doesn't mean that it might not help another time. So just keep an open mind and try things out. I think a lot of us are scared to try things because it's scary to cause a flare and to inflict that on yourself. But sometimes you just gotta, you know, bite the bullet, because you might be missing out on something that really, really helps you. So that's everything for today. I hope these were helpful. And if you have things that helped you but weren't on the list, please comment them and let me know, because I might be missing out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a like and consider commenting and maybe subscribing to my channel. It would mean so much to me. It would make me so happy. I will see you in the next video. Bye!